How's it, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Just plain old welcome if you're the first time here. Yeah, fractional gold and sardines. What do they have in common? Well, that's not difficult. You should be stacking both. I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention stacking food. Doesn't have to be sardines. It's just an example. Gee whiz, there's only 200 calories. 200 calories in a serving, and it'll fill you up for 200 calories of food. But a lot of good fat, no carbs, very little, no fiber. But yeah, it's good stuff. And there's stuff in there that I don't even think they have on their omega-3s. Supposedly, sardines, salmon, not farmed, fresh, wild caught, red better, pink okay, red preferably, mackerel, herring, maybe even smelt. I don't know, they've been getting a bad rap pollution wise lately, but yeah, so whatever it is, canned meats, tuna, look at your best by dates. I've eaten stuff way past the best by dates, but it's a good gauge, especially when you're rotating, eating through your food. Start eating this stuff now. Get used to sardines. I find sardines with kimchi is a nice change. There's all kinds of recipes for sardines. There's all kinds of recipes for all kinds of meat and fish, but there's canned goods. And I used to be under the impression I needed to have a year's worth of all kinds of stuff, and now I'm old and I don't need a year, and I don't think anybody really needs a year's worth. If things haven't cleared up, if we haven't as a society figured out how to feed ourselves with what's left over, and I mean leftover industries, farming, whatnot, plus leftover foodstuffs that have already been produced, I think it's only going to take a couple months before that either works itself out. And for me, yeah, I don't know, I struggle with longevity. Not sure I'm that concerned about it, but you young folks should be, because you are the future. So, yeah, foodstuffs, your favorite, fill in the blank. Fractional gold. I have examples of mostly American 22 karat, and then some 24 karat coins, and there's others. The Buffalo, these just happen to be were just a great bargain. 1/2 ounce, that's 24 karat. You got 1/10 of an ounce. You've got 1/4 of an ounce, 1/2 ounces, and compared to bars, 1 ounce coins. Now, it doesn't have to. I happen to have Eagles. I don't have a gold Britannia, or else I'd be showing it off. I don't have a gold maple leaf. Well, yeah, I do. I got a couple of real small ones. There we go. Yeah. They just weren't in the shops when I was in the shops, having money burning a hole in my pockets. So halves, tenths, and then grams. Perth makes some. They did. They probably still do. Pamp makes them. These are come out of Turkey. There's 1 gram. So there's 2.5. I've seen really strange denomination grams. 70 grams, I think, or 100 grams, and do the math. 31.103, I believe, is the magic number. And yeah, there's an argument for a 24 karat gold. There definitely is, as far as in a pinch. Value-wise, and notice I didn't say the word price, because I'm not thinking about fiat prices. I'm thinking about value. I'm thinking about a free market value. Something which coin shop dealers might call being able to keep the lights on, being able to pay the rent. And even if they own the lot that and the building that's their shop's in, there's still taxes. I mean, the man, air quote, is going to try to get you either way. In Honolulu, I spoke with a guy. He was 40 years in the business, something like that, might have even inherited it. Didn't own the building, and got out when the rent was raised to $12,000 per month. Please. Give me a break. Although they are kind of gold crazy over here, it turns out. The locals and the the naturalized folks, especially the Chinese. So get your hands on fractional gold. I don't. Let's highball it at $100 a gram. Let's go look at a gram. $100 a gram. I don't think it's that much, but maybe let's just say it is. $100. $100 would be what? 3 Eagles. Let's call them Eagles, or 3 Britannias, or 3. Probably Libertards or more, but let's call it $100. So 3 ounces of silver, or 1 gram of gold. Man, that's a tough decision, unless you've got a bunch of silver. If you got a bunch of silver, you know your number. I don't know your number. I knew my number, and I was comfortable after I attained that. Fortunately for me, it was, coincided with my frugalness when silver started getting, up there in price. I don't know, 2010, I think. Plus, I had other priorities I had to take care of, so I got lucky. You can get lucky too, because everybody's saying this stuff's going up. Everybody's saying that silver's going to explode. Will it? Probably, yeah. I don't know, but into what? Explode into what? Explode into chaos, chaotic, evil, SHTF, or some kind of restructured system. And you know that if the government's involved, or anybody that's in charge of the government, and it ain't us, it's not us voters, they're not looking out for you and I. I'm the little guy. I don't know if you identify as the little guy or gal, little person. Maybe that's not politically correct, but you know what I'm talking about. We're not up there in the top 5 or 10%. And if you are, great. Don't tell your friends. Don't tell your rich friends. But we, as the little people, need to be getting as much as this stuff in our possession as possible. And I know some people trust banks and their deposit boxes, but if you look at the codicils and the regulations and the rules, the only thing if you got a safe deposit box, the only thing they legally have to give back to you during a bail-in or a bank run or a bank jubilee, say a bank, they're not gonna forgive your credit. These are the people that hold the credit, hold your credit. They're gonna bail themselves out first before they even think about. They're not even gonna think about you. They'll laugh at you if they think about you. Probably why they're eating cake. All right, so you gotta get your hands on this stuff. I'm sorry if I sound excited, but I've come across some news issues, articles that they don't scare me, but they're definitely confirming my crystal ball that, man, I don't know how much time we got left before something really serious happens, and that's without a war, a world war, a nuclear war. My goodness, man, I gave up on surviving a nuclear war a long time ago. I don't know about you folks. I've still got my Israeli gas masks. They've never been used, the canisters and all that good stuff. But I'm so less concerned about surviving that if it were to happen. Because I'm old now. 20 years ago, yeah, I want to live. You guys, you want to live. You are the future. Get your hands on gold. Now, if you're in a great position and a ½ ounce of gold, and these things are probably going to cost the same on the open market. There's a ½ ounce of gold in that eagle, okay, and there's a ½ ounce of gold in that. There's some other stuff in this because this is only 22 karat. These things, but there's still an ounce in there. These things, oh my gosh, you could melt them down into a bar. Or, let's say they say, oh, you can't possess fancy U.S. Mint coins with denominations on. With that special, Liberty Bleeds mentioned it in one of his films, NAS gas, or I don't know, it's a yellow tank, and they sell it at Home Depot, and you can get a poor man's crucible. That I've done a little research, and I hate buying stuff off of line, but some of that stuff looks like you got to get offline. Furnaces, I guess maybe they're illegal here. I don't know. Nobody will ship to Hawaii. Those neat things like Pirate Stagger got one, I think. Anyhow, or maybe one of the staggers. Plenty of the staggers, really. So, but yeah, even if it's a tenth now, Eagles, they're 1/10 of an ounce. No, I'd rather have this. Great, whatever this is, get it. Get as many as you can, as often as you can, without neglecting other priorities. Okay, so I used to be, I'm still a prepper, but I started out as a SHTF prepper type. So, the blizzard of 77 taught me, and I learned from it, and it helped me get through the blizzard of 78 much easier. But, I prep food, I prep water purification system. We got 6 different gizmos that will purify water. Are they perfect? Probably not. Actually, one of the ones I got, because I found out, wow, it's up there towards the top, is something called Zero Water. I don't even know if they sell them anymore. Those are good to have. Berkey water fillers, Sawyer. At the very least, go down to China Mart or Walmart and get yourself one of those life straws. And they might be calling it something else. You'll be able to figure it out. It ain't rocket surgery. So, and I stack tarps, and I stack camo clothing, especially pants. I stack camo netting, camo fabric, things that, and blankets. In Hawaii, yeah, blankets. Stuff that people are going to need. Not that you could sell it to them for more of this stuff. Maybe they're worth helping. Maybe they've got skills, different kinds of skills. Maybe they know about this stuff already. And just happen, chance, and tragedy brought you together. Who knows? So at the very least, have enough food in your root cellar or closet or under your bed or whatever, canned goods. Don't worry about your health. Don't worry about, oh, it's got this amount of grams of that, and oh, look at all those calories. Yeah, don't care. Get some calories. I'd say at least 2,000 per day per adult. The people that are doing most of the grunt work, they're going to need a little bit more. So I've practiced many times on surviving on 1,200 calories a day. It ain't that hard if you're staying busy. And if you're eating the right stuff. Eggs, bacon, fish, beef, chicken, wild turkey if you're lucky enough to live in where they're at. That's the best. Deep fried if possible. So yeah, get your hands. So $100. $100. I don't go out and spend money, but I'm thinking that if I were to take my wife to a decent sit-down restaurant, nothing fancy, nothing elegant, don't need no maitre d', I don't know, so that's at least what, $50, right? Plus tip. So now you're talking $60, and then the gas to get there, and you probably stop and get some shave ice or some Baskin Robbins on the way home. Make an evening. Next thing you know, heaven forbid if you order an alcoholic drink anywhere. This is without alcoholic drinks. Boom, $100. Am I wrong? No, I don't think so. I'm just guessing. I bet it could be more. I'll bet it's more here than it is wherever you're at. Crazy expensive stuff here. I don't know how these people afford I see them. They get out of their Escalade, their big F-150 or Tundra. These are $60, $50, $60, $70, $80,000 trucks and cars. I don't know how much a Tesla is, but there's a ton of them. I mean, there's a bunch of them over here. And they get out, and I know what they're spending at these food trucks, and they're two of them. You figure $50. It's just, how often do you need to eat out, or do you need to? I don't need to. I treat myself every so often. I treat my wife first though. So if I get, stop at Chunwa Cam and get some manapua, char siu bao, pork hash, whatever. I don't eat any until I get home. I bring it home, and then we go at it. But it's not crazy expensive. It's a lot more than it used to be. But so get your hands on this stuff. Don't let yourself give you any excuses. You can find the money. Now, yeah, I understand. They're probably the people that can really truly afford it. Are they looking at gold and silver videos on the YouTube? And if so, they sure ain't looking at mine. So there's no excuse. Sorry. Do I need more gold? Fractional gold? Yeah. It wouldn't hurt. Especially gold. Silver tricky. I'm getting away. My philosophy's changing on that. I got some couple kilo beautiful kilo Australian Perth mint. One's a dragon, one's a kookaburra. I got bars that look like $50 and $100 bills. Just neat stuff. Lots of neat stuff. Proofs. These crazy things, although I don't think they're a collector's item of any sort. I don't know. I'm not even sure if people are buying them. They are just probably the least popular coin ever. Maybe. But these things are pretty popular. But so yeah, I understand. Oh no, I only like maples. Get maples. No, gotta be pretending. Get it. Get it. And if you're fortunate enough and you can get a whole OZ, like 2 of these, you're going to save some money. So they say on this, air quote, premium. I'm ignorant. When I knew that fractionals costed a little bit more per ounce back in the day, but I thought it was because of production costs. I didn't think it was any kind of premium. So I don't know when you guys invented that word, but it's kind of a dirty word. So yeah, get yourself some grams at the very least. Bump up to some of these. I'm not a proponent of getting rid of any of your silver. The silver I want to turn it into some more of this stuff. And because I've already gotten to that point, I don't need to go for the bargain basement kind. Maybe I can go for a little bit bigger. Or if I want to stick with the fractional concept, which I really like, yeah, I wouldn't mind having a Britannia, a little gold Australian thingy, a Mexican fractional, whatever. But just depends on where you're at. And if you're at the very beginning, I saw a question in one of the chats. Hey, whoever was running the chat. Hey, I got 250 ounces of silver. Should I get some gold? Yes. This is not financial advice, but yes. Absolutely. And I hear about people, I hear stories, I had to sell my gold because of this emergency or that emergency. I understand that. Don't put yourself in that position. But that's what savings accounts are for, right? And if you look at this as a savings account, gold is pretty liquid. Silver at the right price is very liquid. You folks have just so many different ways of buying and selling your gold. And that's not even counting the local coin shops that some of you can walk to. And now there's a lot of peer-to-peer. And when I say peer-to-peer, I mean people with this channel are trading or selling to other channels or out in the open. There's eBay, there's whatnot, what this. Man, there's just so many opportunities. You got it so easy to start putting some of this away. And I'm not telling you got till Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or next week or next month or even next year. But I mean, ask yourself and read a little bit. Listen to the big channels. How much longer can this go on? I've been expecting it for about 30 years. I tell you, I've been expecting it since I started reading about this stuff, and I was really, really fortunate to get my hands on I don't know, it was probably mid-'80s or late 80s, which helped solidify my thoughts, my temptation to start stacking versus just casually collecting coins every so often, without ever thinking about it, find it in your change, what have you. There was a guy named Ron Paul. He's actually Dr. Ron Paul. He was a surgeon in the military. I don't know. He served in countries. Surgeons were usually, protected. The name of the book was Gold, Peace, and Prosperity: The Birth of a New Currency. And he wrote it back. He wrote it before anybody knew who Ron Paul was. He wrote it before I knew who Ron Paul was. And then there was another, The Case for Gold, or A Case for Gold, both from the early 80s, kind of went out of print, but they were, some of the bookstores would have them, where people would have them, book collector, all kinds that you could get your hands on. They weren't on the bookmobile, all right, but you could find them. This is before the internet, I imagine. And then I don't know, mid-'90s, or so the seeds planted, right? And then towards 90, mid 90s, 98, I was getting disenchanted with my golf career. I was anticipating I was a caregiver for my dad, but not 24/7 yet, and I was preparing for it to go to 24/7 care, which would preclude me from working outside the home. Definitely in the golf business, which was buku hours, or even playing golf, which is a lot of time. Didn't have time for that. And so it was a book by something Griffin, I forget. Edward, I don't know. But it was called The Creature of Jekyll Island. A look at the Federal Reserve. And boy, that'll open your eyes. You might think, oh no, this is conspiracy. Well, maybe back then you'd have been justified to think that at first, but now with the internet, oh my goodness, there's stuff's been confirmed and reconfirmed, and more devious stuff that the central banks and our governments and the powers that be have been pulling. It's really disgusting. But so yeah, there's a case for gold for sure. Absolutely. And lately it's really been in the headlines. Gold is king, right? Well, that's enough from me. I had a failure of a live, so I felt like I still had something to get off my chest. But then it dawned on me, I'd probably be upset with myself if I didn't remind people to, besides this, besides silver, besides copper, besides collectibles, food, supplies. You don't need a year's worth. It wouldn't hurt. It's hard. It's not hard, but it does take time to rotate through a year's worth of anything, especially a lot of different things. But I think 360 cans of sardines will last for a little while, don't you? All right. Well, yeah. Stay tuned. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this mystery. This coin. This is a mystery coin. Does anybody know about these things? They got to. They were the most unpopular coin ever. Maybe. Definitely maybe. So get your hands on this stuff, whatever size you want or more. Maybe have a strategy to make change. That was my idea in my brain. Well, what if some guy only wants, X amount of grams? Well, you got 3.1 grams times however many, or you got fractional this, fractional. Oh, wait, I'm a gram off. What do you mean? Can't you give me a gram off? No. Okay, here. Give him a gram. Deal done. Get out of Dodge. Head on a swivel. Watch your six. Cover your tracks. All right. Well, thanks for stopping in. They even make these things in proofs. I found that out going through these things, trying to figure out, should I take them out of their boxes and bury them? I'm not going to, there's no way I'm going to trade this for any other gold, because it's 24 karat gold. Tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. Put me out of my misery. But yeah, my fancy silver, I think I'm going to sell. I mean, it seems like a decent time to sell silver. I don't need top dollar, but I want to turn that into gold. The more money I get out of that, the better. I'd probably still stick with the fractional, just depending. I don't want to get my brains grossed out. And if I can save, a couple $100 an ounce by buying a whole ounce, or maybe these things are still on sale. I don't mean for sale, I mean on sale. I don't think that's a bad idea, but that's a different video. But you can comment on it if you want. Are these things junk? They're half an ounce of 4 9's fine, 24 karat gold, sovereign gold. I think, do they have a denomination on them? No, maybe not. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's around. $10, it's a coin. Yeah, I'm probably wrong. They do have some spooky eyes. I didn't bring out Abby because she is scary. And I thought I had a Gabigail Abby Adams, spooky-eyed Abby in a slab. I do, but I have misplaced it in the last couple of weeks since I've been fiddling with this stuff instead of getting down to business. So, taking as many photos as I can. Any pictures I take of gold, I guess it would be called B-roll. and then I talk over it. No, and that's your favorite part, right? So that's my public service announcement for the day. So when I say get what you can when you can with what you got, while not neglecting other priorities, these could be another priority. Well, thanks for tuning in, getting this far. 25 minutes, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Well, you only watched the first minute or so anyway, so if you got this far, let me know. Tell me what you think. Until then, have a good day. All right, Dan.